Hi folks, this is about a deterministic worldview. Many people say that we can't prove if we live in a deterministic world or in an indeterministic world. Surely we can't prove everything by test. If we look on a complex of A and this complex will lead to B, then a determinist says that the same complex of A will lead to B in every time. An indeterminist says that the same complex could lead in another time to C. And now comes the point. The indeterminist says that there isn't any reason for the difference of the result of B in the one and C in the other time. If we look for an explanation of our world, the explanation has to be logic. If we have a theory of the world, the best way to prove if our world is really functioning in that way the theory says is to look if the theory is logically consistent. If it isn't, our reality isn't functioning in that way the theory says. The not deterministic view tries to explain the world by saying that we can't explain the difference of the results of B and C. They say that there isn't any explanation, that it is principally unexplainable and ununderstandable. They don't say that only we aren't able to explain that. They say that no being could explain it or understand it, whether it is the most thinkable intelligent being and with complete knowledge of everything what happens in that complex. What I try to say is that the indeterministic theory isn't a scientific theory to explain something, that isn't an explanation of something, that isn't an understanding of something. Instead, it is an example of a complex which you didn't understand. If A leads in one time to B and in another time to C, you can't have both times the same complex. If we have two different complexes and we can't say what's the difference, we call it random. That doesn't mean that there isn't any difference. The indeterministic theory isn't a logical theory to explain or understand the world. It is a not understanding and not explanation of the world. We haven't to prove the theory by practical test in every point of the world because it isn't a logical, consistent theory. That isn't a logical theory of reality. It's the opposite of an explanation. Because there can't be ever another explanation of the world anytime which deserves the meanings of explanation and understanding. The deterministic view can be the only explanation and logical understanding of the world we ever could have. Because the only theory that has the character of an explanation is the deterministic one. Thank you for your interest in understanding the world.